Hello, good people of YouTube. Today we're going to be talking about everyone's favorite upcoming Soviet Tier 10 cruiser, the Petropavlovsk. So, I'm not really sure what you'd call this. I guess it's kind of like a PSA or kind of, Wargaming does this type of thing. I don't really know what to call it, but just since we're so close to the Petro coming out, the early access event starts next patch, so I think another week and a half, something like that. And then I think 9.5 part 2 is when the cruiser, the full line goes out, or 9.6, whatever. We're either a patch or two away from the full line getting released. And just remember this. This happens every time there's a new tier 10 or a new line comes out. The ship gets released, the public gets their hands on it. It's ungodly powerful for a month or two or three or four or five, depending upon what ship it is. And then it inevitably gets nerfed or changed. This has happened to almost every tier 10 ship that's been released in the past, well, memory, except for like the Republic. I don't remember any big changes in the Republic. Alsace got the big changes in the French battleship line. But this happens. And some people claim, oh, it's Wargaming just trying to screw you because they release a ship that's super powerful. They want you to grind that new line. They want you to spit into balloons, converting free XP over to get to that tier 10 really quickly, and then they nerf it. Yeah, I mean, that's a theory, and I can see why people may think that. But, I mean, really? Are they going to... Is that really their grand scheme to get you to convert? I don't know. Maybe enough doubloons for the tier 9 and tier 8. And just make money that way? I mean, I know some people believe that. I personally don't, because why do that when you could do something much more effective like the free XP ships, like the small one that's just, here, give me 2 million free XP. It only takes about 500k free XP to get from a tier 1 to a tier 10, and in these early access events, sometimes they're giving away these ships for free up to the tier 8. I mean, if you were lucky enough in the past Pan-European event, I didn't spend a penny on the past Pan-European event. I'm sorry, not the Pan-European event, the, what's one before that? The, English cruise event. I barely spent any money on that, and I got up to the tier 7 for almost free. I mean, if you've got the tier 7, that's a great place to start. You only got to grind 3 tiers, and most people have enough patience to grind just 3 tiers, even though it is the tier 8 to tier 9, and then to tier 10. But still, most people have enough patience to do that. It's not really that. What it really is, if you think about it, this game, despite having a decent-sized audience, this game doesn't have near the audience of most AAA games or even some AA games. And, I mean, you have a very small closed test between the developers. I mean, I doubt Wargaming staff is even, I don't know, maybe even a quarter the size of a company like Activision, EA, Blizzard, anything like that. I'm pretty sure it's a relatively small staff. So you have that small of a staff running internal tests on the ships, and then it goes to the super testers and the CCs, and yeah, that's a bit more people, but still, it's not a very large population that they're testing these ships on. And then it goes into public tests for a little while, which again, it's more people, but then it gets released to the masses, and then the masses get their hands on it, and then by that time, you know, the ship's kind of still in testing, because the devs have said this before. They like looking at how the ship performs for the first couple of months that it's out, and then they start implementing changes to it. This has happened to the Kremlin. It took them a little while to get to the Kremlin. I think the ship's been out for, 4 months now, and they've been implementing these small little nerfs as they go along. No, it's been more than 4 months now. It's been like, 4 or 5 months by now. And they've been implementing these small little nerfs as they go along with the Kremlin. The Conqueror took them a very long time to get the Conqueror's nerfs out. But the Conqueror feels really good now. It feels like a really nice balance of what it was kind of supposed to be. And the Kremlin, too. Yeah, it's maybe been hit a little bit too hard the nerf hammer because you still get those shotgun dispersions within the sweet zone of the Kremlin. And I've said in my Has Kremlin been nerfed too hard video, said overall no, it hasn't been nerfed too hard, but you still shouldn't be getting those shotgun dispersions within that 10-kilometer zone of the Kremlin, or like I said, in my opinion, honestly, any tier 10 BB. It's happened with the Kleber even. It got a bit of a detection nerf there. So this happens with every tier 10. So the Petro is gonna come out, and as of right now, like I've said before, to me the Petro seems to be a little bit overtuned. I'm not saying it's outright OP just yet, because keep in mind the people who have the Petro right now, the CCs, the super testers, they have tens of thousands of games in this game. They've played this game probably since closed beta, most of them. They know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly where to aim. These are the guys that can tell you the armor layout on every damn ship in the game. I've got just over 5,000 matches in this game, and I'm just now getting to where I'm starting to remember most of the general facts and statistics and characteristics of each ship. Just the general, not where, you know exactly what part of the ship is armored with this exact amount of armor. I can say, oh yeah, that part of the ship, it's got thinner armor than let's say the belt, or the bow has, I know this gun can overmatch, but I'm at that point now. I'm at 5,000 battles. It takes a lot to get that knowledge in and know exactly what you can and can't do with the guns. Now, again, so keep all that in mind. All these videos you're seeing of the Petro being a Citadel machine and stuff, these are like some of the best players in the world with the ship right now. But looking at all that, it still does seem like it's a bit overtuned, because there's a lot of situations where the ship is getting citadels at angles and on ships that it really shouldn't be getting citadels on, and it being a cruiser. So with that, I am saying it's a bit overtuned, but we will see when it comes out. And just remember, it's been in the hands of people who really know what they're doing. It's going to probably get nerfed within a couple of months of it coming out. If we take the Kremlin, for example, the last Soviet ship that people were screaming that it was OP, it took like 3 or 4 months for that thing to get nerfed. Same with the Smolensk, and Smolensk is a reward ship / premium ship. So Smolensk was even harder for them to change, because they aren't supposed to change premiums once they come out. The same thing supposedly applies to reward ships. Some people said somewhere that, oh, it's a reward ship, so it can be changed. It's still a premium ship that someone has to dump a lot of time and grinding of resource to get. It's pretty much the same as a premium, so I would think Wargaming would treat it the same as a ship you paid hard cash for, but whatever. So just know when Petro comes out, if it comes out in the state that it's in, that we've been seeing it, that they haven't really changed too much about. I don't think they've changed much on Petro in the past couple of months. It's going to be a very strong ship, probably overtuned, and maybe OP ship when it comes out. So if you're thinking about grinding to it, just know that when it comes out, yeah, if you can get within like a month or so, you'll probably still have that exact same ship that you see when it comes out. But there's a very good chance that within 3 or 4 months, it's going to get nerfed down. It's happened. I mean, it's a cycle that Wargaming does. People still seem surprised by it, but they've been doing it for over a couple of years now. And again, I don't think it's them just trying to trick you to grind up to that tier 10 and then them just slamming it in your face. It's just the game's it's a very small game. I mean, even in quarantine now, if you look on the player count, with everyone being shut inside their homes for the foreseeable next couple of months, at peak on the North American server, you may have 20,000 people on. More popular games like Call of Duty, Fortnite, and all of that, they've got tens of millions of people on, so they obviously have a much wider audience that they could pull from. Wargaming doesn't have that. So just keep that in mind if you're planning on grinding up to the Petro. Maybe you're saving free XP to just free XP to the Petro, because I believe, yeah, you will only have to free XP through like, I think, 2 ships, because I think the line splits at 8 or 7. I don't know. You'll have the free XP through like 3 ships, which would only be like 300,000 no, like 400,000 free XP-ish. So that's fairly conceivable to stockpile up right now, especially since we have the ability to mount 21 signal flags on our ships now. So again, just keep that in mind. Again, I don't think Wargaming's really meaning to screw people over with these changes, because it's been happening and it's going to continue to happen. It's just the way the game is with such a small player base. Anyway, guys, just keep that in mind. So if you enjoyed the video, please drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe. We're on our way to 10,000 subscribers. We're getting very close to our goal. We are under 300 away from that goal, and I cannot thank you guys enough for that. Hope you're having a great Saturday. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.